Hello, my name is Brad Palmer, and I am Chairman of the Legislative and Governmental Affairs Committee for the Clayton Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to welcome you to our ongoing series, Platforms at the Podium. In the preceding videos, you will view all the candidates for the local election for the town of Clayton, both incumbents and people seeking office. I encourage you to watch all the videos and make the most informed decision you can as you prepare to vote in these local elections. Again, thank you for taking your time to watch these videos, and it is part of an ongoing mission of the Clayton Chamber of Commerce to advocate, innovate, and collaborate. Thank you for your time.
I think when dealing with the town of Clayton, there's always unfinished business. I think people are a huge aspect, when we're thinking about what our current challenges are and what our unfinished bit and dealing with unfinished business. Transportation is one and development is the second one. I think with transportation, working with the state and local and federal to make sure that we are all working together to come up with good plans is going to help us move forward. When it comes to transportation, I think as we continue to grow, transportation is going to be an ongoing issue for us. And so when it comes to development, sticking to our master plan, what stakeholders, developers, and what we decide on as the government is going to be important because it creates those common goals going forward, as we continue to grow as the town of Clayton. And the people, the citizens are a huge aspect of that. And I think, pulling them into the process of dealing with development will help us deal with those significant challenges that we have daily. I think that's the key part of dealing with our challenges.
Sure. For me, unfinished business is addressing traffic and transportation needs. We have a lot of growth, and without growth, we wouldn't be the great town we are. But we have to be mindful that as we grow, there's a lot of traffic, and we hear from our citizens that they're tired of sitting in traffic on Highway 70. So moving forward, my goal is to hire a transportation engineer, and that is their job with the town of Clayton, is to work on traffic, focus on traffic, do traffic impact analysis, because right now a developer pays someone to do that for them when they come to us with a project. Their project may be submitted just before someone else's project, but you've got two different people doing traffic impact analysis, and they may not be aware of what each other's working on. So we need our own traffic engineer to look at it from the high level. We need someone to say, this is what's happening in this entire neighborhood, and this is what we need for signals, stop signs, road widening. We need our own person to take care of these things. I think our most significant accomplishment has been public safety. I was EMS chief here in Clayton for many years, and back during those years, the fire department did not come to medical calls. One of the first things I championed when I got on the council was to get our fire department to EMT level of care and to be able to respond ahead of EMS, get there sooner, and provide life-saving interventions. That was not popular at the time, because we were transitioning from a volunteer fire department over to a career fire department. Now, since I've been on the council, we have a 100% full-time career fire department. Everybody that's hired is an EMT, and that's part of their job description. And we're able to take life-saving medications to the scene sometimes 10, 15 minutes before an ambulance gets there. Things like epinephrine for somebody having an allergic reaction with their throat closing up, where seconds can mean the difference in life and death. Narcan for people who suffer an opiate overdose. And at times that people try to make that controversial and say it's a drug addict problem, but that is not the case. A child can get into grandma's pain pill, and we may save a child's life with Narcan. So it is not an addict problem. It is a global problem, and our firefighters have saved lives already in the last several years by bringing Narcan to people. CPR and AED use, we have resuscitated people with CPR and AEDs before EMS even got there. We've had return of pulses, and we've had somebody back breathing who was literally clinically deceased. Moving forward, we just need to continue to enhance public safety, focus on it. We need to keep pace with our police officers, firefighters, public servants, so that we do keep up with the growth. Another thing we did since I've been on council was add SROs. We now have an SRO in every single school in Clayton, and that is something I'm extremely proud of.
I think, for me, just speaking from the aspect of Parks and Rec and being the board liaison for Parks and Rec, switching All-Star Park to Donald Sinclair Park was a huge accomplishment for me. Spearheading that really helps with what my message was when I first ran for office. And I feel that, reflection of the community and what it looks like is a big part of that, and shining all through Clayton. I think that's one big accomplishment for me. Another one is just moving forward with what I said when it comes to transportation and working on a comprehensive transportation plan, which, that's something that we're moving towards, and focusing in on those goals, and hiring a firm to make sure that, we have that proper transportation going forward is something that would help with public safety. It will help with congestion, and making sure that as we develop and as we grow, we're trying to balance out those two to ensure good economic growth, and making sure that with all various incomes, we're creating new job opportunities for everyone. I think those are some things that's a huge accomplishment. Those are ongoing things that we're continuing to work on, and those are things that I'm focused on as a councilman, going forward in this election. I think that with this being my first term and me being fairly new to the town, to town government, I think balancing out what was and what is now has been a significant challenge, because at the end of the day, as an elected official, you represent all the residents that reside in Clayton, and I think that adding in what was and the new people that are coming in is super important, and I think creating that those common goals going forward, and making sure that everybody is being represented on the town board has been a challenge. But I feel like that's a balancing act, and that's something I'm learning fairly quickly, and getting definitely good experience, especially when you move with being authentic and genuine. It's hard work, but I think it's necessary moving forward to make sure that everybody is living, working, and having a good time together. I think that's an important part for me. That's been a challenge, but it's something that I welcome as a challenge going forward. I think it's important to understand, with it being my first term and moving into my next term, the strategy for me was, of course, making sure I understood what was going on in my first term, because I understood that any decision made could affect any residents in Clayton, and I felt that understanding the process and procedure is something that was very important for me for my first term. Going into my second term, I feel that now that I have a good understanding, and making sure I stood on what I said the first time, and keep moving forward with that. I think affordable housing is something that we could definitely focus in on going forward. And of course, like I said before, when it comes to transportation and making those a priority, and development, which are key things that we need to speak about. And one of those things I feel like is working with federal, state, and of course our local officials to make sure that these things stay on the top of mind, that Clayton is, understanding of the information about what we need to do. And also, one more thing that I would like to say is, I think one thing I stand on is being authentic and genuine, and bringing trust within the town government. And I feel that with mass communication that we do have now, and having those campaign of engagement with its citizens is showing a key part of that, and it gives us insight on what we need to focus in on going forward, and speaking out a lot more about those things, and also creating new ways of thinking about what we need to do in Clayton is something I am going to focus in on going forward.
Moving forward, I think it's important that we focus on quality versus quantity when it comes to growth. When I joined the town council 12 years ago, we were happy for any growth, because with that growth, we now have nice restaurants to eat at downtown. We now have bars and nightlife in Clayton that we did not have when I was a little boy. That did not exist in Clayton. Clayton rolled up the sidewalk at 5 o'clock. So our growth has brought us lots of good things. Now I think we're in a position to be choosy. I think we now can focus on the quality. We have started already to demand excellence from developers and builders so that they don't just bring the cheapest item to a homeowner. It is quality. And I think moving forward, this council and just myself personally, focus on the quality versus the quantity of the work. And I think that will continue to make Clayton a better place and allow people to have better housing options and just an overall improved quality of life.
As I think about what motivated me to run for Clayton Town Council, I think about the many opportunities I have been involved with in the political realm. I watched candidates over the years as they competed for elected office. The thought became clear: why not me? I've lived, worked, served, and dedicated my time to the Clayton community, so I too can serve as a member of the Clayton Town Council. I believe it's time for new horizons, time for fresh ideas, and time for new beginnings. It starts with me and my willingness to serve. For over 17 years, I served on one of the most distinguished teams of public servants, the State Employees Association of North Carolina, Scenic, District 42, as a voting delegate. Being a delegate includes voting on major issues that concern state employees. Delegates reviewed and approved new policies and bylaws, presented them on behalf of all state employees in the state of North Carolina. I serve as chair of the Scenic Employees Political Action Committee, IMPACT, Area L District Team, which governs over 10 districts. Serving in this capacity has allowed me to embrace my strong leadership skills and has informed my willingness to present myself as a candidate for Clayton Town Council. Living in the town of Clayton for over 38 years, I believe now is the time appointed for me to reach out to my community in town to share in the chance to offer my leadership skills, education, training, and work experience that I've gained while living in Clayton, NC. My personal values include integrity, accountability, and commitment aligns with the needs and aspirations of the town of Clayton. Town of Clayton needs someone who is transparent, shows integrity as they are solving and reviewing problems of the citizens and problems pertaining to the town. Integrity includes being transparent to the citizens while fulfilling our vision and mission of being a council member. Accountability is important, as one should be accountable as one represents the citizens, and we should be responsible for one's action and decision to make on behalf of the town. And most importantly, is to empower the citizens, leading them to make the best decision for themselves after they have been heard.
The reason I decided to run for town council is a number of reasons. First of all, my husband and I have lived here in Clayton for over 42 years. We raised our boys here. Our boys went to the public schools here from the primary all the way through high school. And this town has provided a great quality of life for us. We have been able to and privileged to see our town grow and thrive. And so I think that makes me qualified to make decisions on this amazing period we're in the town of Clayton of growth and potential without losing what makes Clayton so special to our family and to people who live here. And it's why so many people want to be part of our community. Part of what I think makes me a good option to serve on the town council is some of the things I said before in my first question. I think being part of this community for such a long time, I think allows me to create a platform by which to really balance decisions being made by the council and to bring my own perspective into that group. It's a great working group, and if elected, I would call it a privilege to be able to work with those folks. The other thing is I was a school teacher, which is you have to be a strategic thinker and you have to be able to pivot and you have to be able to adjust, to say the least, when you're a school teacher. I also was worked in a construction and development company. So from the architectural creativity to land development to the building of houses, I was strategically involved in those decisions. That also allows me, when decisions are coming to council about communities wanting to be part of our town, to know the questions to ask, to know what's important to be provided to council to be able to make those decisions and what the details are. It's all very critical. So I think those are some of the things that make me maybe uniquely qualified to serve on the town council.
I believe that being an ordained minister and trained mental health professional are distinct qualities that set me apart and make me the best choice for the town of Clayton community. This unique background has afforded me the skills to listen to the concerns of the citizens without judgment and with a fundamental commitment to fairness. I will be an advocate for the citizens who feel as if they have no one on the council to speak up for them. A perfect example is the citizens who were afraid when a decision was made to reroute Highway 42 to reconnect off of Highway 70. Those citizens didn't have anyone to speak on their behalf and share their concerns, feeling as if they had been pushed out of their neighborhood and town. Serving as a member of the State Emergency Disaster Team for many years has given me a great experience to lead and make critical decisions for citizens at their time of greatest need. Working on with collaboration with FEMA, HUD, and Red Cross, and other organizations has equipped me to work among others and make major decisions for the best interests of the people. Also working as a classroom teacher and substitute teacher within the town of Clayton has given me experience to lead and see firsthand the needs of the community. I worked in the local public school system for a number of years, as well as the Department of Health and Human Services, serving the people and advocating for the best interests of vulnerable individuals and family. Those experiences have equipped me to lead and serve the citizens of Clayton on the town council. My understanding of the current town of Clayton council role is to establish a tax rate, adopt a budget to guide how the town will spend its money, and set policies for municipal services. The council's responsibility is to look at each situation and give it their full attention. What's in the best interest of the town and its citizens should be at the forefront of all discussions and decisions. My approach will include making sure each person's voice has been heard regardless of race, age, nationality, ethnicity, background, gender, etc. My approach will be committed to protecting and enhancing the rights and benefits of each citizen regardless of their age, gender, race, religion, etc. My focus will be to make sure everyone feels comfortable enough to express their concerns to their specific issues of the town council. I will allow each concern to be heard and discussed fully with no exceptions. I will work to make sure each situation is dealt with extreme consideration. My experience as a citizen of this town, working as a teacher, a minister, and mental health professional with a master's degree in counseling, as well as a parent, a wife, and active community volunteer, has given me the experience, perspective, and skills to actually serve and lead as a member of the Clayton Town Council.
I'm not sure that I could answer what I would do differently. I have been pretty involved in watching council meetings for at least 2 years. When we were in COVID, I was watching them virtually. Since I decided to run, there are not many council meetings that I haven't missed in person. So I think doing that for over the last couple of years, it has given me a really good understanding of what the process is, what council can take into consideration in making a decision and what they can't take into consideration in making a decision. So I think I would come to this position with a good understanding of the workings of how a council makes their decisions. And I actually think the existing council does a good job of really balancing decisions and having good discussion. So I think I would fit well in the mix of this group. And I actually, as I said before, I'm a good strategic, practical thinker. So I think my opinions could maybe bring some clarity to a decision if the council's having trouble making a decision. But again, I can't say that I would do something dramatically different than this existing council would do. And I think I addressed in my previous answers some of the things that make me qualified to do this in previous life experiences and work, and living in this community for so long, being an integral part through the chamber and other committees. I'm on the Board of Adjustment with the town, so I have a good understanding in that regard about how decisions need to be made. My husband rides the Greenway every day, 25 to 60 miles a day. So I know what a jewel in our crown the Greenway is. So excited about giving back to this community that's given my family so much. And it's really the reason I decided to run, is a give back, a commitment to serve. It's why I'm running for Clayton Town Council.